Question number 12. So two parts of a sailing boat are the mast and the boom. The mast is a vertical rigid beam and the boom is a horizontal jet beam. So this is the mast, this is the boom over here. One end of the boom is attached to the mast by a pivot. Okay, so this has been pivoted over here. It's like a horizontal rod. The other end of the boom is connected to the mast by a rope. So it's also been connected by a rope over here. Okay, the rope is at an angle of 40 degree and exerts a tension force T on the boom. Weight of the boom is 200, mass of the boom is uniformly distributed along its length. The boom is in equilibrium. What is the magnitude of the tension? Okay, what is the magnitude of the tension? So what we do is, let us consider this whole length to be L over here, whole length to be L. So I can apply the moment of force about this point, about the pivot over here. So I can now write this should be T sine 40, and so I can now write this gives you an anti-clockwise moment, which tells you T sine 40 multiplied by L. This is an anti-clockwise moment you get, and this should be, this one will give you a clockwise moment. And what is this distance? This distance is L by 2, which should now be equal to 200 multiplied by L by 2. This L and L goes away, so you get T is equal to 2 ones are 200s are 100 divided by sine 40. Sine 40. Let us calculate what is the value of sine 40 now. We'll just make calculators here. Okay, sine 40. What's the value of sine 40 once again? So I'll put 40 here. Go to trigonometry and type sine. So this will give you 0.6427. And if I take the reciprocal of this, take 1 by x, I get so much 1.55. Multiply this by 100. I get the answer is 155. 155. And what is the decimal you have? 155.57, which is 155.6 I get, right? So now here you see all of them are only two significant figures. The closest value of this one should be around 160 Newton. So B should be the right answer. But one of you might have a question. Okay, when I did this in the class, one of you had a question saying that, okay, why do we have something like, why do I want to take the moments? Why can't I do by this method? Okay, this method is very popular. Most of them will do it. 90% or 98% will do this one. They will just equate this force should be equal to 200 and finally get the answer as 310 Newton. So why is this incorrect? This is incorrect for the simple reason that the forces acting on this rod is not only this T sine 40, but there is a force acting here also, right? When you take an object and put it over here, though you pivot it over here, this object is in contact with the rivet here or maybe the bolt, and as a result of this, there is a contact force. Because of this contact force, there would be an upward force also. Okay, this upward force we are not able to measure it over here. Okay, you cannot just blindly take that this force is equal to this force. We are not able to measure, and as a result of it, we are not using this method. Okay, we are using this method. But of course, you can always go for an approximation. You can take an approximation saying that if this is exactly horizontal, then these two forces should be parallel, so that this will become anti-parallel. Because if this force is different than this one, then this might be slightly inclined upwards or maybe slightly inclined downwards, though it can support, but something like this can happen. So in that case, what you can do is you can say this one plus is equal to this one, so you can just put 2t sine 40. You can do it like this also. Okay, so just using only this force will not be sufficient. You need to apply a correction also. So I did by this method instead of instead of getting the confusion. Okay, I did by this method. Of course, you can do it like this, but remember this should be 2t sine 40, and this you will get it only by looking at the visually the rod over here, and somewhere it should be given that it is exactly horizontal. Is it given over here? And the end of a horizontal jet beam. Okay, so you can do by this method also. Okay, let us move on to the next one.